Grad school in the United States averages $30,000 to $40,000 a year. Most people don't think about how they will pay for grad school until after they are accepted, but many scholarship applications are due around the same time as your grad school application. You want to be looking at options for paying for grad school at the same time you are applying. In this video, I will cover the 7 main sources for paying for graduate school. It's rare to find one source that will cover 100% of your tuition and expenses, so you want to make sure you are considering all of these sources together. 1. Internal scholarships/fellowships. The words scholarship and fellowship are interchangeable, but it's more common for graduate school awards to be called a fellowship. Internal funding refers to funding that comes from the university itself. This can come in the form of tuition reduction, stipends like actual cash, or other benefits like getting a laptop. Sometimes schools have a separate application for their fellowships that you submit when applying to their program. Often, these awards are not publicized. However, it's most common for universities to select students for awards when they are admitted to the program. Schools use their fellowships as a recruitment tactic to offer funding to their top candidates. This is by far the easiest pathway to getting funding for graduate school, although it's rare for a university to cover all your tuition or expenses. It's more common that a school offers you some money, like $10,000 for your first year. If you are applying to PhD programs, you should expect to have 100% of tuition covered plus a stipend. Do not accept any PhD offers that don't cover your tuition. You can find a public database at phdstipends.com where others have input how much they have gotten offered for their PhDs to give you some comparison of how much money you can expect to get. 2. External scholarships/fellowships. You can apply or be nominated for external fellowships that might be funded by foundations, nonprofits, companies, organizations, or government agencies. It takes extra work to find and apply for these awards. Deadlines are generally October through February to fund the following school year, which is why you should be looking into these awards while also applying to graduate school. Most of these awards will only cover a portion of your studies. Often these awards are very competitive since you will be competing with a lot more people from around the country or around the world. A great place to research scholarship awards is the ProFellow database. There are also external scholarship awards that are available throughout your career in grad school. They might fund your first year, maybe they fund dissertation research or whatnot. So you want to keep looking for external scholarship awards even after you get accepted to graduate school. 3. Assistantships. Graduate research assistantships and graduate teaching assistantships are part-time research and teaching positions through the university. These generally come with tuition, remission, and a stipend. They might also cover other benefits like health insurance. These positions are often obligatory for PhD students who are often expected to teach and conduct research on behalf of the university. These positions are often highly coveted because they tend to pay more than just scholarships. It is often more common to get these awards your second year after you have relationships with professors. You often have to apply for these positions like applying to a job. You do have to learn to balance these positions with your regular school load. When applying to grad school, ask admissions officers about the process of applying for these positions and getting to know how much these positions pay. This was the main way I paid for my tuition. You can check out my other video on how I paid for grad school for more details. 4. Student loans. Even if you get awarded numerous scholarships, it's likely you will have to take out some student loans to cover tuition or just everyday living expenses. There are government student loans and private student loans. If you are from outside of the United States, you likely don't qualify for government or bank loans inside the United States. You will have to find loan funders within your home country. Government loans are the better option because the interest rate tends to be lower and you may qualify for other benefits like payment deferment or loan forgiveness programs. If you are a US citizen, you will have to fill out the FAFSA Federal Student Aid application to qualify for government student loans. The application date varies by state, but for California, the application is due March 2nd annually for the upcoming academic year. These loans have interest accruing while you are in school, meaning by the time you graduate, you will owe more than you originally borrowed. I suggest taking out the minimum amount you can at a time. For example, if your school offers you up to $10,000 a semester, take out just what you think you need, like $3,000, and then if you need more a few months later, take out more. Generally, you don't have to start paying back the loans until 6 months after you graduate. If you have issues finding a job or other financial issues, you can apply for loan deferment to lower or pause your payments. However, the interest is still accruing as this happens. Additionally, you don't have to wait until the loan repayment period begins to start paying back your loans. Whenever I came into extra cash like birthday gifts or my tax refund, I would put it towards my student loans while I was still in school. 5. Jobs. It's likely you will work at least during the summers of grad school and potentially during the year. It might seem stressful to work and go to grad school, but most people manage to do it. Companies that are interested in hiring grad students are also understanding and will be flexible if you ask to take a week off work when you have a big week of exams. For summer positions, your university will likely have a job board and may even coordinate positions with companies or organizations. Timelines tend to be early for the best summer jobs. One of my summer positions had applications due in early January to start in June. If you are in a professional program, they may even require a summer internship as part of your program. The university is also likely to have a job board for work-study jobs. You have to qualify to earn work-study as a benefit of financial aid, since it's a federal program that essentially subsidizes the cost of your employment. About 50% of your salary is paid for by the government and 50% by the company, which makes the company want to hire through work-study compared to non-work-study students. If you are a U.S. citizen, you have to fill out the FAFSA application to see if you qualify for work-study. Your university will have a job board that lists all of the work-study positions. You can also find jobs that are outside of work-study. Most jobs you will hear about through your local network, from the program you're at, or other students. I suggest you also keep a list of organizations you find interesting and regularly check their websites for summer internships and part-time job opportunities. You might also do gig work like babysitting. You can find jobs at care.com, dog walking, you can check out the WAG app, or rideshare driving. 6. Savings. People who have worked for a while before grad school are sometimes able to apply some personal savings to graduate school. It's common for people to dip into their savings rather than rely on student loans. If you are in the US and plan on saving over a few years, it might be beneficial to open a 529 investment account. Depending on what state you are in, there may be some tax advantages. A 529 account is an investment account for education. It's what many people open for their children, but you can actually open one for yourself as well. It might not make sense if you aren't saving for many years, but you can research it to see if it's a good option for you. 7. Family. It's less common to have family support to pay for grad school compared to undergrad, but some families may be in a position to help. This might not be tuition, but there are many ways families can help, like letting you live rent-free if you go to school near where they live. Your family members might co-sign on a student loan or even offer you an interest-free loan. And sometimes you might be in an emergency where your family can help out. As you're applying to grad school, really think through how much it's going to cost and the ROI on your education, and start looking at these 7 different categories and start planning how you're going to pay for graduate school. You can check out my other video on how I paid for grad school, where I break down all of my finances in detail.